and I've just put its legs
Right.
all over the place.
We are live. Hello, everyone. We're just going to give it a few minutes so that people can join.
Yeah. I'm just picking up the cockroach bits that I've just cut its legs off all over my desk.
Nice.
As it goes.
Yeah. In fact, I've got some cockroaches sat to the side of me, already cut up, ready to go in the tank.
Well, because I've been working all weekend, including today, I've not been able to do general maintenance. So
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Sort of falling behind myself a little bit, but not falling behind, but nearly.
I was wondering what's going on there. I'm watching it on YouTube as well, so I can catch up on people's questions and stuff like that. And
okay.
All I can see is my back of my head. There's a bit of a delay. So, yeah, there goes the back of my head. Anyway, I actually need to stop watching that.
Right, hang on. We'll give it another 2 minutes, see if anyone else signs on, and we'll just start.
Oops. Dead Dean. Jeez. I am struggling with life today. You have to bear with me. I'm struggling with life.
So good. So good. Ants England. Hey, Ants England. Thank you for signing on.
The living legend that is. I really like Ants England. She's a straight up guy, a girl. I'm not getting confused about genders, honestly. Even though I think people on my what's it called? WhatsApp. I've got a picture of a woman on there because it's like me for with the Snapchat filter where I'd turn me into a woman. I'm pretty gorgeous, to be fair.
Yeah, you probably are. I'll give you that. You've got some very feminine features.
Yep. I wonder if I can reduce this. I'm not looking at myself, but I can see the comments. There we go. Because it's very distracting.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, trying to go between, yeah. Right, so let's just crack on then. So I've got some questions. This is start that again, shall we? Right. So welcome everyone to another episode of the Picnic Table Ant Chat. This week we've got Ants Hood joining us, so we've got a few questions for him. But first, I'm just going to give Ants Hood a little chance to introduce himself. So if you want to take it away, Ants Hood.
Hello, ladies and gents, and people that identify as goldfish and ants. I'm Ants Hood. One of the few, I say rare occasions, but past week I've shown my face 3 times. So maybe not so rare, but I don't intend to make an effort of it because I scare people. But yeah, you know me, I've got my own YouTube channel, as you all know, Ants Hood, and I like drinking. There we go. Got wine today. Pinot Grigio, in case anyone was wondering.
Being a bit posh today.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ants Hood's got an amazing YouTube channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, check out his YouTube channel. Links will be in the description below after the stream's finished. Check out his channel, make sure you subscribe. So let's start with a few questions I've had from my Discord, and some of my kids have chucked in a couple as well.
Yeah. Are they fans as well, are they?
They are big fans of yours, actually. My middle one loves ants. She's got her own colony, and yeah, they're subscribed to you.
Well, here's a shout out for them. Hey.
That's it. So first question, how long have you kept ants?
I can't remember. I think I'm about 4 years in. I've actually been properly keeping ants. I'm relatively new to ant keeping because I know yourself from your live stream the other day. You've been keeping ants for like 13 years. I've not got that experience. But I also think that kind of shows in my channel somewhat as well, because I obviously make mistakes that everybody else does, but I don't ever claim to be an expert either. I literally just keep ants and record what I do, just as an average Joe ant keeper, like everybody else probably watching this stream now, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't got that much more experience. I think you're more experienced than me. I always come to you with questions.
I'm just one of those geeks. I just like to I like to read up and do my research on stuff as well. When I get time, and I just
I mean, it's brilliant. That's what I like about you. You know your stuff. You do your research. Like myself, you know, we kind of bounce a bit off each other lately, haven't we?
Yeah. I just love everything about ants, though. To be fair, I do. In all fairness, recently I've not really been able to keep up to date on everybody's YouTube channel, which I kind of feel a bit ashamed about. Because I know Ant Oliver's a great channel that I like to watch as well, but I've not really watched a lot of his videos recently either. It's just time. Time is something I'm really lacking. But I get a lot of information off of the YouTubers. Like if I've ever got any issues, I always go to the Colonialist. Because I mean, if I'm a geek, that guy's next level. I mean, serious next level geekiness. That guy.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give him that. Yeah, like next level. So again, an amazing YouTuber, the Colonialist. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, make sure you check out his channel as well. Hit that subscribe button. Next question: how many colonies do you have? That face said it all. That face said it all.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. About 18 Connollies and probably about 24 test tube Connollies.
Wow.
Yeah, but a lot of the test tube Connollies I've got for my experiment, but unfortunately I've not been able to keep up to date with that yet. But I am running with the experiment, and I know I've got a Facebook group where I've been getting information off other people. I know I've not been very vocal on that. If in case you guys are watching and you guys, anybody's watching, it's actually part of that. Put your information down. I will collate it, but at the moment I'm just struggling to keep up with life. So you just have to bear with me.
We'll get like that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And because I've upped my videos now to 2 a week where I can, it takes up a lot of free time. Because as you well know from doing your own videos, it's about getting the footage, and sometimes footage can take all day to get, and then editing it together. And because I don't go by scripts or anything, I literally, my videos are just me just talking rubbish and blurting it out rather than actually sitting there scripting everything. So everything that I talk about in my videos is generally off the top of my head. Sorry, I was looking at the screen. I can't get the camera's just there. My PC's just there. I'm like, what? So I just literally just talk, like I said, just talk. So it does take some time to do the videos though, and like I said, free time's a bit of an element, tight element, because I've got a full-time job and I've got a part-time job as well. So busy, and I've got my other hobbies that I like to do as well. And obviously I'm married as well. I've got to spend some time with the wife. She loves me, I swear.
Yeah. Okay, next question. And I thought this one was actually a really good one. This was from my daughter. What's the differences, in your opinion, between European fire ants and Solenopsis?
Oh, there's loads of difference. I think, realistically speaking, apart from colour and the name fire ants, that's about as much as the similarities go to. Because obviously Solenopsis are next level. I mean, I think in my last video, not the one from this weekend, because that was my leaf cutters, which are really cool, by the way. But the video that I did midweek about my Solenopsis, I kind of like summed up how they were the best I could, because they are very easy to keep. And that's normally, when it comes to ants, that's a really great thing, because if they're easy to keep, you don't have to worry about them per se, and you just crack on, as it were. And they just grow quite happily. Just keep feeding them and cleaning them out and stuff like that, and then job's a winner. But with Solenopsis, it's like easiness taken to the extreme where it becomes difficult. They the queens, when they're fully founded and established, the queens can lay something like 10,000 eggs a day, to my knowledge, which means their reproduction rate is huge. You've kept track of mine, because I generally put it on my channel so people can watch it all as they go along as well. And the growth rate is just phenomenal. Really quick.
Yeah.
It's really quick. So excuse me. So, you know, bearing in mind they're teeny tiny as well, so escape prevention is like a really important thing as well with these guys, because if you don't, they will get out. I mean, when I first got them not too long, the little blighters managed to find the teeniest of gaps to get out of, and they raided one of my test tube colonies of my Lagis nigers that I was collected for my experiment, and they wiped them out. They're really aggressive, and like I said, the growth rate, keeping on top of it. It's not just you know, get a standard set up for them. You really need something that's really good at escape prevention, and then you've got to keep on top of their growth rate. So you're looking at a big financial commitment as well with them, not only for their food, because their appetite is next level, but also with buying next setup for them, the next build up for them, the next nest, the next outworld. I've just got a Mohusive outworld from Sid Wakushi, which I've not put together yet because it came in the post yesterday and still sat on the side. And I'll probably put it together in a video maybe midweek if I get the opportunity. So there's the main things about Solenopsis. But then when you take the European fire ant, for example, Mamacarubra being the most prominent one, is they're probably, for the main workers, they're not polymorphic, so they stay one side, where Solenopsis are. They can have multiple queens. Solenopsis can't. They can only have one queen. So there's two big main fundamental differences, as well as size, because literally you're probably looking at a couple of millimeters for a Solenopsis main worker, excluding the majors, where the Mamacarubras, off the top of my head, are probably cutting about 5 millimeters. So they're bigger. They're not as aggressive. Solenopsis will sting you for the sake of stinging you. And yes, PJ Grant, I have been stung, and no, I'm not filming it. That's to you. Anyway, so my Mamacarubras, I've never been stung by them at all. And their growth rate's not as quick. They're a lot more docile, not as, I was going to swear them, but not as crazy as Solenopsis. So if you want something that's, you know, slightly aggressive, but more manageable, Mamacarubra is definitely the way forward. Definitely the way forward. Solenopsis, even though they're easy to look after, they are not for beginners. And, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I can't say any more. You really, one ant that you really need to consider, think about if you're ready, if you can, is the Solenopsis, because they are something else. They really are. I'm glad I've got them though. I'm glad I've got them to my collection. And to tell you the truth, the videos do really well compared to my average, excluding that AC video, because that just blew me out of the water with that one, the amount of video views and subscribers and stuff like that I got from it. So if you take that aside, generally speaking, my Solenopsis videos do well. Do well. So yeah, so they are a benefit to my channel, of course, and really great to keep for an ant keeper. But if you're not an experienced ant keeper, just avoid. Generally, really stay away from them. Yeah. Well, I ranted on a bit there, didn't I, mate?
I think you covered it. I think that was brilliant. Yeah, you covered it. I feel the same myself. Stay away from Solenopsis. I got very close to buying them, and then I just thought there's no point, because it just takes up such a commitment. I wouldn't be able to do other things that you know what I mean? It's just too much. Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is I had the exact same opinion that you did. I was not interested in them because they are, like I said, I knew, even though I've never kept them at that point, I knew that they were the reputation and how they are and stuff like that. But I was out camping for my birthday, in my camper van. I was my missus was asleep. I was drinking whiskey. I was looking through ant ladies, and I was like, oh, there you go, just scrolling through. I'll buy them. Let's do it. Hood's Achilles heel is whiskey. It's like I love it, but it makes me do silly things such as buy Solenopsis.
Yeah. Apart from Solenopsis, anything else is fine. Just.
I'll tell you what there is as well, which is a really great beginner amp, which has a good fast grow rate. I'm looking at them now because, like, literally my iPad sat on the outworld. Is Camponotus nicobarensis. They are a fast-growing species, which are great for beginners because they, after the foundation, because they can be really sensitive in the foundation stage, they just boom, boom. I mean, everyone's seen mine on my channel anyway, so but yeah, I love them. Definitely fast-growing species.
What nest would you recommend for them? Because they can chew through a lot, can't they?
Well, yeah, because I got an escape. They escaped once because they will chew through plastic, and they chew through the. Because I was in the AC hybrid nest, and you get little. I haven't got any to hand, to be honest. But the little plugs you get for them, stoppers. They've got air vents in, and the air vents allow them to get a grip, so then they slowly chew through them, and they've chewed through about 4 or 5 of mine now. So what I do as a precaution, I put cotton wool in it. I think I already changed that one. I haven't. I won't flip the cameras around because then but you'll see that one of the stoppers has got cotton wool in it, and the answer cotton wool because I've just chewed through it again. So I mean, initially I really rated the AC nests because I got hybrid nest, that is, because I got really fast results, really grew really quickly. I think part of that's due to because I got 2 queens more than anything else as well, which one of the few Camponotus that can have multiple queens, to be honest. I don't think I've ever known any more than 2, but mine have got 2 and are doing great. And they did really well in that, but then they had a massive crash, as we're now well known because it's all been documented and stuff like that. I noticed as well that the humidity was really hard to control in it because even though they've got a hydration system, which I think is probably basic, but one of the best hydration systems going, I just don't think that there's enough ventilation in the nests to stop it pooling, and it pools in water. So I'm moving them over now to the Wakushi after Nibiru, I think her name was. Lynn, I think her real name is, bought me it, and I massively appreciate that, mate. Never had such a kind gesture. Brilliant. As you well know from my video anyway. And they moved into that, and they're practically, most of them are in now. I've removed one of the AC nests, and I've still got the other hybrid nest that I'm trying to get them out of using light. But yeah, so difficult to say. But I do rate Wakushi stuff. For nests, I find hydration is easy to maintain. If you don't overwater it, they don't pull water or anything like that. So I mean, you could argue, I know he's one of my Patreons, but if I thought his stuff was rubbish, I would say it was rubbish. I don't hold back with stuff, but I really rate his things. I'm really looking forward to his Gen 3 stuff when it comes out. I think before Christmas, I think he said. So really looking forward to that. Sorry, I do talk rubbish, don't I? Go on, so fierce.
That's exactly what this is all about, We're not. This is not a serious chat. This is just us chatting. This is a good question from my wife, actually. Has your wife put a limit on the amount of ants you can have?
No, not at all.
No.
My wife and I don't have any kids, unfortunately. So we do a lot of our own things. She's got bits and bobs that she does. I've got my bits and bobs that I do, and she never stops me. Well, I say that I'm restricted to keeping ants in the box room of the house. You could probably, it's just big enough to get a single bed in and maybe a cabinet kind of thing. So it's not a massive room, and I'm restricted to there. I can't have ants anywhere else. Occasionally, when I'm moving ants from one setup to another, and there's a big setup, I'll move it into a lady cave. She hates that. Lady cave. It's a man cave. It's a lady cave. But we also know what a lady cave means as well in other metaphors. He hates it. But anyway. So I'll sometimes move into there and she whinges, to be fair. But generally speaking, if I could keep it in my man cave, my ant cave, as it were, she doesn't complain or whinge, and she just leaves me to it.
Nice.
I just don't always tell her how much stuff costs.
Yeah, never do that. Never tell her, never show receipts or anything like that. My God. And don't tell mine either.
I'll try not to.
Have you got any future plans for your channel?
Well, nothing spectacular, to be honest. Obviously, I want to move because I'm currently using my phone, which is an old iPhone XS, and I've got some fancy pants lenses for it, which is where I get my macro shots from and stuff like that. But it's not a great camera, and I've asked the missus for Christmas to get me an LSR camera, a DSLR. Yeah, something similar to what Alex uses, Antollifer uses, and then obviously progressing from once I buy that, I'm then going to move on to getting a macro lens for it. The macro lenses are expensive, and hopefully I'll get some better shots there. But I have ordered a new iPhone 13, and I've seen some lenses that you can get for it, which are about 140 quid, which have got a macro lens like the standard ones where you have to get it really close. They've also got a standoff macro lens. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get some decent macro pictures from outside the Nest, rather than putting which I tend to do, is put my phone in the outworld, as it were, and then let them get them crawling all over it, and I'm like, oh crap, and I'm trying to get them off. And
I remember one of your Nico videos, you did that, and you pretty much couldn't get your phone out for like a day or so. Yeah.
So sacrifices we made. There's loads of comments. I haven't even looked up on it yet. We have to check that in a bit. Also, he's mentioned whiskey. But anyway, sorry. Yeah. So that's my immediate plans going forward. Reference to get a camera to get better footage. I'm never going to get to the standard of ANTS Canada, because that guy's next level awesomeness when it comes to his the quality of his videos. And my editing, I'm just average Joe blogs that edits his videos like a Neanderthal playing in a jet plane. My editing and stuff like that isn't great. I mean, EA always tells me my thumbnails are pants, and I need to do better with them because I'll get more clicks.
I think yours are brilliant. Yours are much better than mine.
No, well, EA says mine are rubbish, so.
Well,
he means that in a nice way. He's not being a nasty pasty or anything. He is generally being a genuine nice guy on that one. But it's a bit of a running joke, really. But so I'm never going to be an editing guru. But I do hope that for the benefit of my viewers, that my quality of videos will start getting better as well. To be honest.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is something I'm getting for my channel as well. I mean, I'm so excited. We all know that I had Carabao Diversa a little while ago, and they had mites and they all died, which was a massive kick in the nuts, to be fair, because along with them and my honeypot ants, which I will get again one day, there were two ants that I really wanted and got really excited about, and then unfortunately they died, which is disappointing. The honeypot ants was just my blunder, so I can't say anything on that one. But I am getting some more Carabao. The Antantics has got some, and he saved me Connolly. I mean, I might have to sell him my arm for him, or maybe a kidney on the black market. Yeah, but I'm definitely getting some Carabao. So
you only need one kidney. You only need one kidney.
Yeah, not with the amount I drink, mate.
Yeah, all right, I'll give you that. Last question I've got written here is, how do you find the time to care for all your ants?
Well, I work shifts, to be honest. Luckily enough, because I work compressed hours, I work 4 days a week. So I work 1 in 4 weekends. I've been working this weekend. That's why I look rough as a dog and tired. I got destroyed in the gym today. I got led to the gym under false pretense. I thought I was going to the gym to go play badminton. And my oppo was like, oh, we will play badminton. I went there, and it was a bloody hit session by one of the gym staff. And I was like, and because he was doing that, I had to join along as well. He got led by a woman. That's what I'm saying. And then I played badminton afterwards. So I'm a bit tired anyway. So anyway, going for a tangent. So what I tend to do is I generally get a week rest day on my weekends. And that's when I do all my ant maintenance, make my videos, and then crack on with stuff. Generally speaking, when I do miss videos from the weekends from time to time, and that's because I'm doing other stuff as well, and I can't, because I've got quite a busy life, to be fair, without bambinos. Because I've got bambinos and stuff. I haven't got bambinos or anything, so I've got quite a busy life. anyway, with all the bits and bobs that I do. I mean, I think I mentioned on your last live stream, hobbies-wise, that I do. I mean, there's so many bits and bobs that I dabble in. I'm like the master of none. I'm just like a blubbering blob because I'm overweight and I'm just trying to do stuff that you should do when you're like a teenager. But I refuse to grow up. Just refuse.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm going grey and oh my word, all grey and everything, but I'm in denial of my age. So I keep trying to do stuff that I can't. I shouldn't be doing.
That one. Look at that. No.
Oh, he's got one. You've seen this? I mean,
it's going. Word. It's going.
At least it's not receding though. That's the main thing. I'm getting ball patches here. It's going to end up meeting in the middle. I'm just going to have a like tuft of hair at the front.
Yeah, you look Friar Tuck, innit?
Yeah.
A little,
of course, I'm sure I'll rock it anyway, regardless. If not, there's always toupees.
Right, I'm gonna have a little. I'm reading back through these. Read the whole chat. Right, we're just gonna have a read.
Oh, I'm not doing that. AC style hands in honey and then in the fire ant setup. No. One
of my mates, he was my 300th subscriber, and he and I are going to get stung by the bullet ants.
Man,
yeah,
you're braver than I. I mean,
I'm not really looking forward to it, but it's going to happen.
Wow. If I'm cleaning out my ants and I get stung in the process, it's the nature of the beast. Do you know what I mean? And the Solenopsis are crazy for that because at first I was being super cautious when they were teeny tiny in colony size, and I used some blue gloves to rubber gloves, as it were, to stop me getting stung. And then I just got a bit flippant, as it were. Complacent is the word, not flippant. And I don't bother wearing them now, and they do sting me a lot, to be fair. But
does it hurt?
Not massively, to be fair. I was quite surprised the way that AC did it. I mean, I know I'm only getting stung by one or two, but the way AC was, it made out like it was the worst thing in the world. But I just don't think it's got a very high pain threshold. I mean, it's obviously not married because then you'll develop a high pain threshold, as you well know.
Yeah. Right, hang on. You do have a nice voice, Ants England, and a relaxing. Yeah, Ants England, you do have a nice voice.
Yeah.
There's not many female ant YouTubers either.
Pardon?
There's not many female ant YouTubers, is there?
No, I think she's like literally.
Probably the only one.
She's the only one I can think of. Well, English speaking, anyway.
Yeah, there was Leopard Gecko did a couple, but I don't know if she really keeps ants much.
I don't know who Leopard Gecko is.
She does stuff with leopard geckos, I think.
What have I done?
Oh dear, what's he done? So I'm still going back. You're gonna get your back second. That's not going to be good. I hope that's not going to be a good way. You're getting your back second crack done. Hang on, let me find it again.
Where did that come from? No, thank you. I don't have the hairiest. Do you know what? I'm probably like the only 30+ bloke that freaking. This is like a month's growth of shaving, and I'm like, if I take my top off, I've got the body of like a 12-year-old boy. You've got more hair on one of a 12-year-old boy than you have on my chest. So it's not a lot of hair to wax, to be honest.
Yeah, fair.
I don't shave or anything like that. Not my body, anyway.
No.
I like mountain biking, but I don't do that road cycling where you have to shave your hair, and that's just weird. But each
extra speed.
Who am I to judge?
I will do that. I can't do that at the minute because I don't know how, but I will ask you how to do that, Stin. Yeah, I have no idea how to do that, so I'm just gonna. If I go messing with it, I'll probably end this whole stream, won't I? So that's gonna be and demanding everyone to like the video. Okay. I will. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, that's how you gotta be sometimes, isn't it? It works. Has anyone else got any questions for Ants Hood?
If
Or
not, I'll just
me?
talk more rubbish because I'm good at that.
Yeah, I mean, we're brilliant. Is there any species that you would definitely not keep?
I definitely wouldn't keep.
I mean, you've already got Solenopsis.
And you know, to say the truth, I probably would have said that would have been the species that I never would have bothered keeping, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think there is. I'll dabble with most ants, to be honest. I always tend to avoid invasive ants.
Yeah.
As a general rule of thumb, excluding my Solenopsis. But I think when it comes to invasive species, such as Solenopsis, is just be prepared. If you're prepared and got a decent setup where they can't get out of it, then why not keep them? To be fair, why not?
Yeah, fair enough.
Because, you know, I can't think of any other ants that I probably wouldn't get. Oh, what's my favourite species? Ooh. That's a good question. I go through phases, to be fair, because if I'm filming an ant, that's my favourite species at that point, because it's what I'm looking at, it's what I'm watching, and things like that, and that's where you get to learn the personalities of your colony, because all colonies have their own personalities, their own little quirks and stuff like that. So, and that's where you get to know your species. So I'd say that my favourite species is the one that I'm filming at the time, because I equally love all my ants, and I think that's why I was so hurt and hurt. I would say I was hurt actually, and disappointed about AC's antics, which obviously prompted that video the other day. Because I care for all of my ants and I love all of them, to be honest. And even when I'm like moving a connecting, we all know how terrible I am at connecting new outworlds and stuff. It's just a disaster. I can't seem to keep them in. Did you see my last one when I connected the S6 next to my?
And you didn't even notice they were getting out. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, right. I've got this in the bag. Wow, I've done really great. I've managed to put all the cotton wool in it so they don't all get out, and then I miss one of the main entrances going into the outworld. I just plug that one, so they're all coming out of there. It's just, oh God, what am I doing?" But that's just.
It's like a running joke in my house that you're never going to get it right.
Never, ever. I mean, I've been doing this for, like I said, 3 years at least, and I can't get it right. But
to be fair, it is a hard one to do. Even I get escapees. You know, I think the idea is to pinch, and then it doesn't work, though, does it?
No, I just suck at it. I mean, especially when you're looking at small species such as I'm looking at them. They're over there. Is my Fidoli nodas. Which are just attacking that cockroach I just put in at the start of the video. They are teeny tiny, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, they always seem to escape when I'm connecting stuff up to them. But then you've got like big campanotis that I've got, and they get out. It's not a major drama because they're quite easily to police back up. It's the small, teeny tiny ones, and this is. I mean, you've seen Did you see my video from midweek of my Solenopsis?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you see the predicament I've got now. I need to make them into get them into a bigger nest. Yeah. But I also need to put them into a bigger outworld. But I've got no way of attaching it at all. I mean, literally, it's going to be carnage, to be honest, because I'm going to have to take them apart, and they're going to sting me into oblivion, and you might actually see them stinging me on the video. That's not for your benefit, JB. Not JB, sorry, PJ. That's not for your benefit. But anyway, so I'm going to have to do that. But I was really stuck between a rock and a hard place with that, because I needed to attach an outworld to it, because the original outworld had an extra port for it, but I couldn't. Their water was dry. They had no honey water, and I'd put in a cockroach to try and distract them, but they just swarmed out of the nest because there was thousands in the nest, and it just came to the point where I had to attach another outworld. Unfortunately, the only outworld I had spare was the Amboy cylinder nest, the small, I think. Right, but it's only got one port. So I'm at that point now where I'm kind of stuck in hindsight with, you know, Captain Hindsight to the rescue. Then maybe I should have put a junction in there, but I hate junction boxes because they just use them as dumps. And because you can't get into them easily, you can't clear it out. So it just festers in there. So I tend to avoid them. But it is what it is, really, isn't it? It is what it is. I'll have to film me getting stung to pieces.
Something. Yeah, right. Got a few other questions. How could you guys look so great? How do we look so great? That's a random question. I'm gonna say because I'm awesome. Stinge.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I look great. I mean, I've got bags under my eyes. I mean, it was great last night because the clocks went forward. So I got an extra hour's sleep, which was lovely. But equally, just got my cat scratching at the door, which makes me want to go out there and drop kick it through the window. But it's my wife's cat, so she'll get angry. Yeah, but other than that, but I'll just be like I said, I've been at work all day, so I look rough as anything. So I wouldn't say you look pretty good, to be fair. Have you got anything other than vests, though?
No. Right. Yeah, you got me out on that one. I've worn vests ever since I was like 7 years old or something. I just live in vests. I've got like two t-shirts.
Do you feel more comfy?
Yeah, that's it. I've got 2 t-shirts that I've got from competitions, and everything else is vests. But if I wasn't on a stream, I won't even have my vest on. I just sit here topless most of the time.
Fair one. I mean, I wouldn't do that because my boobs will hang out, and my mum boobs. You know, I could probably pass the pencil test with it. But that's about it. All these young people are like, "What's the pencil test with boobs?" Can tell people that one because I'm not.
Yeah. How often can you get mites from old fruit fly colonies? What, like mites? Yeah, mites in your fruit fly colonies.
Well, generally speaking, if I've seen mites in my fruit fly colony, I wouldn't risk it for a biscuit, and I just ditch the fruit fly colony. Mites are one of those things that they literally are an ant keeper's Achilles heel. I actually found mites on my yellow crazy ants, and I don't think they're going to survive, to be honest, because it's decimated them. I did the what's it called, the
lemon
hereditary mites. I put them in their outworld, and that did have an effect. And I think it's killed them. It's killed most of the mites off now. But my workers went from maybe 20, 30 workers. I'm down to a couple now, but they just can't seem to settle. I lost one of the queens as well, so I've only got 3 queens left. By the way, do you know when you get like jumpers, t-shirts for Christmas off families? This was one that I got. I mean, personally, I think it's brilliant because it makes me laugh because I've got a Springer Spaniel. She's cool. But yeah, there we go, peeps. Look, it's in a pocket. But I wear it for my PJs. Just like, I don't go out in town with this, by the way. So I had to point that out, but just in case it was on my shirt.
That's your out on the town shirt, is it?
Yeah, definitely not one of them. My pool game would be weak. Yeah.
Oh dear. Right, yeah, so, Mr. Rock. Go on. Okay. Mr. Rock, so me. Everyone's calling me Rock these days, and Mr. Rock, I have no problem with that, but yep, cool. Mr. Rock, with natural setups, is there any way to hibernate them? I have Myrmica and Flavus in tanks. Like, basically not really, unless you can pick up the whole tank really, really safely, which I wouldn't advise because obviously they're tunneling. It's kind of hard to hibernate them unless you can, I suppose, the ambient room temperature, if you can lower the temperature of the whole room. But even then, it's going to be hard to actually do. Just let them do what they do naturally is my suggestion on that. Because at that time of year, they'll naturally slow down anyways, even if they don't hibernate. Like some of my laciest Niger colonies are not hibernating this year. They're just naturally slowing down anyways, is what I found. So, I would continue possibly putting food in if they're still taking it, but just go with the flow and see what's happening. Have you got anything to say to that, Hood?
No, I generally don't do the big naturalistic setups for native species. I generally use it for tropical species, and the reason for that was because of hibernation. I didn't quite know where I had the space where I could put them, where I could cool them down sufficiently, because most of my hibernating species I stick in the fridge. I've got a fridge that I use in my camper van, which I can adjust the temperature with to lower it down gradually, and I've also got my fridge where I keep all my food and stuff, such as my honey waters and stuff. I use that to hibernate them in. So I don't generally keep them in big setups, but, and there is a but, I have got Formica rufa, the wood ant. I've got some of them. It was an experiment between myself, Wakushi, and the Colonialist, because it was basically we was on Discord just chatting as we do. I was on whiskey again, of course, and I was looking through Wakushi's website, and he had some roofers, but he wasn't really keen on selling them because obviously they're notoriously difficult to keep. I'm going off on a tangent, but there is a point to it. They're notoriously difficult to keep, so we decided amongst ourselves that we'll keep them in 3 different types. I'll go naturalistic, as it were. Wakushi was going full artificial, and the Colonialist was going somewhere in the middle. I believe both Sid's and Sid being Wakushi and the Colonialists died, and I thought mine had died as well, but I went digging, which isn't ideal. I hadn't seen them for a while, and I came across them still in the chamber. I didn't actually see the queen, but I've seen the workers, and I didn't want to dive anymore, so I just left them to it. So what I'm doing with that, because I naturally hibernate, is I'm keeping it in my ant room. I'll keep the food out there in case they do come out, but as I've not seen them above the surface for such a long time, I'm guessing that they're already going into their natural state of hibernation anyway. But here's the interesting point about wood ants as well. Everyone knows wood ants make these big mounds of twigs and pine needles and stuff like that. And my belief is during the winter, that won't just keep them at a warm temperature to stop them freezing in winter. I believe that will keep them at a good 20 odd degrees anyway, due to the natural breakdown of the wood and pines and stuff like that. Because
that's a really good point.
Because when I was a young lad, I was a tree surgeon for about 8 years. Showing my age again. For about 8 years, I was a tree surgeon from when I was 15 through to after I finished university and before I went to Afghanistan. I was doing tree surgery stuff. And when we was in winter, it could be snowing and stuff like that. But whenever we dumped our wood chippings, and they didn't even need to be there for long, the bacteria started to break down the wood chippings, and it would be steaming. And if it was snowing, you put your hand in it, it would be warm. So my logic behind that is bearing in mind this is just speculation from myself, and I've not really discussed this with anybody else, just my thought process is that the wood pile keeps them at a good temperature, steady temperature, like maybe 18 to 20 odd degrees. So do they actually go into that natural hibernation cycle that everybody else does? I'm sure there's wood geeks out there, wood ant geeks out there that probably correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just a speculation. So I think they may be fine. They just cut down on their outside activity and to survive what they've got in the nest. But speculation. As far as I'm aware, the queen's still alive. She could be dead. Could just be the workers, but I think she's still alive. So
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, back to Ant England's question now. I'll just leave them in a room, to be honest. Just leave them as is and let them do what they need to do. I'll always provide food for them in case they do go out looking for it. But saying that, they myrmicas do winter broods as well. So they don't stop laying eggs over winter. So they could probably do with the nutrients of foraging if you give them that opportunity anyway. Yeah.
Right. Who else we got?
I told you I could talk rubbish. I couldn't just go on and on. Ask me a question, I've just gone for it.
No problem with that. I'm lost now. I lost where I was. Are they native plants? Yes, but all. Okay, water as usual. Blah, 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 blah. Lost a few queens and found mites on a dead queen. Nobody says just slow down. Actually, that's a good idea. And some sort of mite killers, but yeah. What were the mites that you used? Do you know what the mites are called? The
Give me a
predatory
second.
Yeah, thank you.
Hypoaspis mites.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Okay.
What do you?
Where would you get them? Do you just find them on like a pet shop or?
I think I got these off Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon or eBay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I know. Let's be honest, eBay's not a cheap place to buy stuff like it used to be back in the day, but it does have a wide variety of stuff you can get that you won't necessarily get from most shops. So I think it might be. They're generally my two go-to places for things like that. But they're what I used for my yellow crazy ants.
Yeah.
And I also know the Colonialist dumped about 10,000 of them in his. That was a pack of 2,000. I think Colonialist, when he had a bad mite infection on his Carabera, Aphilis, I think it is, he dumped about 10,000 and managed to clear out his issues as well. But they're not cheap. I think just for 2,000, it was about 20 quid plus postage.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they're not cheap. But to tell you the truth, if they do the job and they save the colony, then it's well worth it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, my yellow crazy ants, unfortunately, I didn't spot it till it was too late, and then I had to wait for postage. So I think that delay might have been the downfall. But the great thing about it is because they were donated by the ant lady, I let her know, and she managed to catch hers in just in the nick of time to save her colony. So it wasn't all bad.
That's all right.
Sorry, I've got the cat at the door whinging, and I've got the dog that wants to go out. So bear with me 2 seconds while I open the door.
You go for it, buddy. Type the name in. I want some. Making me feel like a whiskey watching you. That's it. Hood encourages everyone to drink. We're going to blame it on him.
Hey, don't blame it on me. I'm innocent in this. Give me a sec, mate. I'll type the name into it now because I'm dyslexic, and obviously you can tell with all my thumbnails and all my descriptions that I can't spell for toffee. And do you know what the worst thing is as well is that I'll make a spelling mistake and not even realise it, proofread it, and still not pick up the spelling mistakes. I mean, when I was at university, I was writing this is a great one to be fair, because my lecturer thought it was hilarious. I was writing a lecture on the organisms of the rainforest. But I put orgasms of the rainforest when I auto-corrected it, and then I went for the whole essay instead of saying organisms, saying orgasms. She thought it was hilarious, but it's typical what I do. Being dyslexic, what happens with me is because it's auto-corrected. I think that's the right word, and I'll use it over and over and over again, not realising it's completely the wrong word.
Yeah. It's easily done, though, isn't it? Easily done. I'm rubbish at it on the computer. Everything will be spelt wrong. If I'm using my phone, it does it for me, basically. So you can tell if I'm using the computer because everything's coming up wrong.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'm not very computer literate, to say the least.
No, I'm not. I haven't got a clue. This is the first time I've done a stream with someone else, and I had to ask advice from several people to work it out, but I got there in the end.
Well, that's the main thing. It seems to be working fine. I mean, people are watching and saying stuff, and I enjoy talking about ants, to be fair. I mean, in my real world, I work in a job where people aren't really interested, and to the point of where they kind of take the mickey a little bit. But I like everything when people take the mickey out of you, probably because since I was a kid, because when I was a young lad, I went to university at 18, but I had a reading and writing age of a 7-year-old. So, dog. So you have to have thick skin, and generally speaking, if people bully you and take the mickey out of your stuff, if you own it, then they've got nothing to come at you with. So when people at work try and take the mickey out of me, and I've got all the animals in here now, take the mickey out of me, I just own it. So what? I mean, I've got a YouTube channel that's now got 800 plus subs. Probably going to lose them after this live chat though, but so you might take the mickey, but people obviously interested in what I've got to say.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of advice to everyone. You know, own.
No,
People
it's
try
true.
to take the mickey out of you. It's your potty cat. Yeah, little potty cat. If people take the
Okay.
mickey, just own it. If
Yeah.
you own it, they've got nothing to come at you with.
Yeah, I do exactly the same. I get super excited if someone says about my ants. I'm like, yeah, you want to see my latest video? And I start getting it out on my phone and super excited, overwhelmed them with excitement about it, and then they can't say anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just say, if you put a cat in the stream, the views will go right up.
He's a little idiot.
Hashtag cat. Dogs are shouting at me. Only young.
But, you know, I'm surprised he doesn't actually. He likes sitting in my ant cave because it's warmer, but he doesn't actually bother my ants at all. He doesn't like paw at them or anything. He just sits on. I
was gonna say, not bothered at all by the ants. No, fair enough. Interested. Not even the largest ones, like Camp Notice.
No, he just generally ignores me. I think he's more interested in sitting on my chair because it's comfy.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
I used to hide my ants.
My dog's not interested in them either. But saying that though, if my ants like the Campanotus, because obviously the Nicobrensis have got notoriously always escaping on me. It doesn't matter what I do, like connecting tubes up or when I chew through the bloody stoppers. She'll play with them on the floor as it were, but she generally doesn't kill them or anything. She just like, oh, what's that? Paw.
Yeah.
And then my missus picks it up, tells me off, and then puts it in my outworld.
Yeah. My Polyrhacus dives keep escaping, don't they? It's every time I go like 50 miles or more from my house, the Polyrhacus dives will get out, and you can guarantee my missus will be here going nuts about it. Yeah, it's every time. She reckoned last time there was over 1,000 got out.
Really? How big's your family?
It's well over 1,000. I've just fed them 3 roaches, but there's not actually hardly any activity going on. Well, we might see something in a minute, but no, well over 1,000 now, easily well over 1,000. But I lost a queen a couple of weeks back. I don't know why, but they came carrying out one of the queens and just laid her on the side. So I got her out, and I've actually got in a little glass jar at the minute in the freezer. I don't know what I want to do with it. It felt just horrible to throw one of the queens away because I'm like, I love it so much. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Like if like put it in amber or something, people do stuff like that.
It'll have to be resin because amber's fossilized tree resin, and you'll have to wait a couple of million years for that.
Yeah, all right. But anything like that, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. Like, because it's not just a queen. That's one of the main queens. That's one of my favourite colonies, you know. And it was a real shame when I saw it coming out. It was weird because for like the whole day, they weren't being themselves. There was like extra activity, and like you could just see they weren't being normal. And then from the nest, there was just swarms and swarms of them, and out comes this dead queen carried by like 4 or 5 of them, and it was
It's sad,
you know what? It is. It was heartbreaking. I was just sat here like, no.
No, I've had that, to be fair, many a times. I think you can tell by my videos that sometimes I do get a bit emotional about my ants anyway, as it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my Polyrhacus have all died out now because I got them as a rescue case. Somebody didn't want them anymore, so I took them on. They did really well initially. I got told there was like I can't remember how many it was now, like a 4 queen colony, I think it was. But I've never seen the queens ever because they're already in their own little tubes, I think they were. They did initially really well, and then they just slowly died off. They stopped taking protein, so obviously they weren't producing any young. I assume that the queens, if there were 4 of them, I'll never know, died off. I used to get males all the time as well, but they stopped too. So, like I said, it is what it is. I mean, I will get some more Polyrhacus. I know somebody's got some really cool ones coming soon, but I think they're probably going to be a bit out of my price range. I think they're Polyrhacus blues. But
I was going to say there's some blue ones coming in soon, and they are stunning. I don't know if I can get away with it. I don't know if I can do it. I'm up
Well,
to
apparently they're going to
33
be
colonies at the minute.
they're going to be 200 quid plus. So
Yeah,
about my price range. I mean,
yeah,
it's great. It's great getting these really cool exotic ants, and if you've got the exposable income, then and if you do get losses, it's not a great drama. But if I spend £200 on ants on an ant and then she dies, that's a lot of lost money. Even if you do spend, for me, I generally have a set budget of what I can, what I get my ants with and stuff like that. And if I suck up all that money, which will be a couple of months worth of money, to be fair, buying one queen ant and like my honeypot ants, for example, I think they were about 130 quid, and she died due to my own stupidity and lack of foresight, to be fair. And putting that bloody lid on that bloody freaking test tubey thing, bloody stupid idiot that I am. Trapped all the humidity in, and after watering it, it was just bad news. Anyway, it was my stupidity. The video was one of my first ones, to be fair, so people want to go back and watch that and see how stupid it was. And
I think I have watched that.
Yeah, it's disappointing, but it's a big financial loss to bear, to be honest. And let's be honest, I don't get any monetization from my channel. The only support I get from people that, like yourself, thank you for the help, is on the Patreon bit, and that will take months to cover the money that an ant of that cost would cost me. I mean, I was really lucky that Aunt Davey approached me to get the leaf cutter ants, which, by the way,
that's amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, anyway, because they're retailing on his channel for about £125, I think it is, as well. And then if you think a standard ant setup, leaf cutter ant setup, you can do it quite cheaply, but because they're so climatically sensitive, or the fungus is,
it's a lot.
You need to spend the money on a decent setup for them as well. And luckily enough for me, Wakushi, due to the relationship I've developed with him, which is I'd probably say we're good ant friends, to be fair. And if I ever got opportunity to go out for a beer with him, I'll be down with that. And the same with a lot of people, to be honest, because I don't know if you know this, but I do like a beer. Sorry. So he was kind enough he wanted to trial it before putting it out to retail, and he was lucky enough to let me trial it with him. And it just so happened it was when Aunt Davey, completely unrelated, unbeknownst to each of them, Aunt Davey offered me a free Connolly. And at first I was a bit like, I don't think I'm ready for this, because I've always been dubious about getting them because of the climate requirements and how difficult they are to look after. But it was an offer that I couldn't really say no to, so I took him up on it, and I'm glad I did at the end, because like I said, leaf cutter ants are notoriously difficult to look after. Because the climate requirements, humidity's got to be high. You can't go. Not only have you got to worry about the fungus, you've also has its own climate. You've also got to worry about the queen, because yes, your fungus ultimately is between 23 to 26 degrees C is the ultimate conditions for the fungus. But we all get heat waves in the UK, especially in the UK, where it can top it. And if it goes above 30, then you'll sterilise the queen. She won't kill the queen, but it'll kill all the sperm that she's carrying. So sometimes without even realising it, because you didn't realise the temperature spikes so much, you could make your queen infertile. So your colony just essentially ends, as you well know. So they are really difficult to look after. But I can safely say that the Wakushi setup has made, and I think I said in my last video yesterday, has made keeping them really, really easy. Really easy. So I'd definitely recommend anybody. I'm not saying it's to push his shit, stop swearing, to push his stuff, but generally speaking, it's made it really easy to look after, and I would recommend it to anyone.
They do look like really, really good setups. Every time I've looked at your videos, and Ants Holifer is using them as well, isn't he? They look, really good setups, really well thought out, and like you say, just great climate control, really, isn't it? The only thing I've always wondered with them, because they're so sensitive, what happens if you have a power cut?
Well, I'm because the way that I'm heating mine, I don't massively have that issue, because I've got a gas boiler,
Yes.
At the moment. I mean, if Boris Johnson gets his way, we're all going to go to electric, which is purely just offsetting your carbon footprint because we haven't got the renewable energy to supply the national grid. So we're just offsetting our carbon. But anyway, don't worry about that. Worry about the point that because it's gas, my room would always be heated, even if we get a power cut. Because I don't heat the setup, I raise the ambient temperature of my room to the required temperature. And the reason for that is viewing. Because as you guys well know, if I heat the setup itself, water will condensation will form on the inside of the setup because the outside room temperature is higher. But if you heat your room to heat the setup, then you don't get any condensation. So if you don't get any condensation, that means I can do decent viewing for you guys in my videos and stuff like that. Excuse me, and I get to see the ants doing what I want them to do, which is what they're doing, which is cutting up leaves and processing it into fungus. And that's really interesting to watch, to be fair. I did do a time lapse of them dismantling and chewing up leaves, but I didn't put it in my video because I was actually filming that while I was editing the video, and I never got around to doing that little bit extra that I planned to put at the end with it on so you can see them. But they can literally process leaves really quickly. They might cut down a big bit of leaf, but literally within 5-10 minutes they would have mulched it down and put it onto the fungus garden, and you won't see it again. So they're really industrious in those regards, and they're really good at processing it all. And it's really interesting to watch, and you can literally sit there and watch it all day long, and it's much more interesting than rubbish you get on TV at the moment. I mean, until I Love Island, for example, I'd rather shoot myself in the face and watch that.
Yeah, I can't deal with that. Couldn't deal with that.
Yeah. So if I had the choice, I'm watching Love Island, watching my leaf cutters, and defo I'm watching them. They are literally super interesting. Yeah.
I didn't actually know it was that fast. I didn't realise it was as fast as that to process the leaves and turn it to fungus, you know. I thought it would be like... Actually, I hadn't thought about the process. I hadn't ever thought about that. I just knew they cut leaves and turn it to fungus.
No, what they do is they mulch it down and they build these intricate structures. As I explained in my video, as you've seen the pictures, because the way that they build their structures is to maximize surface area for the fungus, and it also gives them areas to hide the queen, hide the brood and stuff like that. In the arts of us, obviously in that nature they wouldn't really massively need to worry about it because it's underground, but what it does for us, we have in these setups, it allows them to hide the brood and queens. But ultimately the whole point of that structure is to maximize surface space for the fungus garden, because in nature they'll be restricted by the chamber that they've dug for them. So it's a really ingenious, and what they do is that there's bound to be more experts out there that'll correct me on this, but to my understanding is that they mulch the leaves down, mix it with their saliva when they're mulching it. They also get a lot of the carbohydrates from the sap from the leaves as well. This is why you need fresh leaves for them, because if you just give them dried leaves like dried rose petals and stuff, which they do take as well, then it doesn't have the carbohydrates for them and things like that. So the fungus will look great, but your workers will start dying off. So you need fresh leaves, and they mulch that down using their saliva and stuff like that, and then put it onto the fungus garden, these intricate structures, and then the fungus grows on that.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to watch them do it. It really is.
Cool. Yeah, very cool.
I mean, if I remember, I will try and send you the video so you can have a look at it, mate.
Please.
If I remember to the viewers and stuff like that, I'll put it on Instagram. If you let me put it on as a story, then you guys can check it out there. If I remember, I'll do it tonight before I hit the sack.
That'd be brilliant. That'd be absolutely brilliant. And on that note, I am going to let you go. I am going to say massive thank you, Ants Head, for joining us tonight on the picnic table. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you and finding out some answers to some interesting questions. Is there anything else you want to say before you go?
Yeah, actually, from the bottom of my heart, I have to say thank you to all the people that do watch my videos and support my channel in all its guises, be it just subscribing or just watching them, to be fair, or if you take the plunge and become a Patreon supporter, because it does mean a lot to me, to be honest, that people actually want to listen to me talk rubbish. Generally speaking, most people just roll their eyes when I start talking, especially my wife. But the running joke I've got with my wife, when she rolls her eyes, is because she's laughing and she finds me funny. It's just the way she laughs. Well, that's what I reckon anyway. So I do really appreciate everybody that supports my channel in whatever way that is. So thank you for having me, but more evidently, thanks to the viewers that actually follow my channel and watch it. I owe you guys massively for that, because you give me the motivation to keep going, to keep making my videos. So thank you to you guys, big time. All the viewers here that watch my channel, thank you. And to you for having me along as well, mate.
That's all right, man. It's been really nice to have you. And that is it.
Here. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, brilliant. And that is it for tonight. So thank you everyone for joining us in the live stream. Don't forget to sign in next week, where we'll hopefully have another special guest, 9 PM UK time every Sunday. And as always from me, see you again, Ant fans.
Bye, guys.